But now we need to change some colors. Let's see how to set colors for the background of the screen, as well as the text and our text view and button widgets. To change the whole background, we need to edit the container view that's holding everything we see here. We added text views and a button, but what exactly did we add them to? Let's go back to the Design tab and take a look over here at the component tree, which shows how all of our views are arranged. Sure enough, we have the device screen here at the top, and right below that is our relative layout. And it looks like that's where we added our two text views and button. A relative layout is what is known as a view group, which, as you might have guessed, is used to group views together. It's just a special type of view that can hold other views. And as its name implies, a relative layout is used when we want to place views relative to one another or relative to the edges of the layout. This relative layout is where we want to change the background color. Let's select it and look for a property that could help us. Yep, background. Let's click on these three little dots over here, and we get a dialog where we can choose our color. On the Color tab, we can use a color picker or give a value for our color. And if we click on the System tab, there are some default colors provided by Android. Let's get started by selecting this Holo Blue Bright option, and then hitting OK. And now we have a nice bright blue screen. But what about the colors from our mockup? We want to match these exactly. The colors we'll be using come from the Treehouse topic colors that we find on the web. I've created this page to show the different topic colors and their hex codes. The link is in the teacher's notes below. We'll change the color for each new fun fact, but we also should set a default color. For our default color, let's select the Android green over here. I'll just select the text and copy it with Command-C on Mac or Control-C on Windows. Then, let's go back to Android Studio and paste in that value for our color. Command-V on Mac or Control-V on Windows. Then hit Enter. We can skip opening the dialog since we already have our color. Looks great! Now, don't worry if you've never used hex colors like this before. It's just a different way to represent colors. Next, let's change the background color of our button to white. Feel free to pause me if you want to try it yourself first. Okay, my turn. I'll click the button, find the background property, and then open the dialog where I can choose a color. From here, we could either set the color to white on the Color tab, or we could switch to the System tab and use Android System White. I'll choose the System White. Let's also change the color of our text and the fun fact text view to white. Start by selecting the text view, but this time, instead of looking for the background property, we want to change the text color property. Let's scroll down in the properties and click on the three dots next to text color. Then, let's pick the same white from the System tab. Before we move on to the Did You Know text view, let's go back to the mockups and take a closer look at it. Notice how it slightly changes color based on the background color? This is achieved by using white text that's semi-transparent. It lets the background color show through a little. Setting the transparency is pretty simple. Let's go back to Android Studio and select the Did You Know text view. Then, let's find the text color property and click the three dots. But this time, instead of using System White, let's go to the Color tab. It's already set to white, so all we need to do is change the transparency, or alpha value. The alpha value is represented over here as A, and it has a value of 255. It's also represented over here as FF. In fact, these two sections represent the same thing. The 255 value over here is the decimal representation of the alpha value, and the FF over here is that same value represented in hexadecimal. Don't worry if this is something unfamiliar to you. The main takeaway is that the alpha value determines how transparent our color is, and that a value of 255, or FF, means that it's not transparent at all. Let's change our alpha property to 128. This should make our text about 50% transparent. Let's click OK and take a look. And now we can see that our Did You Know has a slightly greenish tint. Since our white text is partially transparent, the green background is partially showing through. Let's take a short break and then we'll finish our layout.